Good morning from Houston, downtown Houston, Herman Memorial Park. I'm here visiting my son, and I am going to tell you guys about the flight down here being above the clouds and still seeing the sparkly world that I see after the lightning strike. I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on. Oh, I wanted to talk about the physiological changes that my body had and has undergone, some of the nerve damage, what it was like being paralyzed, even after my arms came back online when I was paralyzed from the waist down. And I've had so many people want and offer to help me with like cranial sacred work and other energy type healing processes. And I want to say thank you for that. And then I want to explain why I am not doing anything like that. I think one of the, am I going to say neatest? I'll say neatest effects that this event has had on my body is to listen to my body. When I woke up in the hospital and I had no use of my arms or legs, I wasn't alarmed. And I know that sounds weird. And maybe I would have been, I don't know. But for some reason, I wasn't alarmed. I was just still coming out of this very peaceful, still state. And my body was just starting to reanimate and come back. So I was still feeling very peaceful, and there wasn't a panic with that. Within a couple days, like I said, I had the use of my arms, and then I didn't have the use of my legs. And I was moved over to the burn unit. And while I was in the burn unit, I had physical therapy coming in, and I more humored the physical therapy than I did really take it seriously, right? And that's because my body wasn't, it was just saying, I'm not ready yet. I'm just not ready yet. And there's no need to push this. I mean, that's what didn't come out in words, but that's kind of what it was feeling like. So I would try to do what they told me to do. I would try to lift my knees. There's no way I was going to lift my knees. I would try to wiggle my foot, and there's just no way I was going to be able to do that. But I would try. It was, a good 10 minutes of just humoring while I was recovering. There was, hold on. On my walk this morning, I had this worded so wonderfully in my head. Well, I'll explain it this way. Say you're in your house and all the lights are off in your house, and you walk into a room and you turn the lights on. And let's say that is your front hallway. Okay, so you walk in and you're in your front area of your room, and you turn your house and you turn your lights on there. And that seems perfectly natural. Now you can see that room. And let's say you are not going to the kitchen yet, but you're going to go into a closet, I don't know, and you turn the lights on in the closet. And so the lights turned on in the closet, and now you're using the closet. There's no need for you to turn the lights on in the kitchen, or even try to turn the lights on in the kitchen from the closet. You're not going to the kitchen. You don't need to go into the kitchen. But the kitchen's there. You just don't need to use it. that's kind of what this was like. I know my legs are there, but there was no need for me to try to turn them on because I'm not in the kitchen. Now, had I gone into the kitchen and needed to use the kitchen and was like flipping the lights off and on and off and on and off and on, I don't think that's the right analogy. Okay, let's backtrack. I didn't feel the need to panic to turn the kitchen lights on because I didn't need to go into the kitchen. And that's not because I didn't need to use my legs. It's just that my body told me, nope, it's not time yet. I'm not using them. I'm not using the legs. When my legs turned back on, and like I said, it was spontaneous recovery. It was literally like going into the kitchen and turning the light switch on. It was just there. They were there. And my legs were working, and that was that. I didn't need to go to physical therapy, and I probably didn't need to do any of that work. I don't know if you can hear the helicopter, it's very loud. Okay, so I didn't need to really go through that physical therapy because it wasn't an injury, a skeletal injury. You know, I didn't have a severed, or I don't know what would cause it, but this was electrical, and my body is just recalibrating. So, when it comes to doing other therapies, the energy works and things like that, my body is saying no. My body is just like spending time on the phone and the computer. My body just says, that isn't for me. That's just not what I need. I need to let the dust settle and allow my body to settle into where we are. I would rather do that than anything else because my body knows what it needs to do, and it doesn't need to be pushed, and it doesn't need to be prodded, and it doesn't need to be encouraged. It needs to be allowed to tell me what it needs, when it needs it, and it's my job to listen to it. It's just like when you're hungry. If you learn to listen to your body will tell you when it's hungry, and it will tell you what it's hungry for. But you just need to listen. And I think that's one of the neatest things. There's a lot of neat things, but one of the neatest things that I've experienced coming out of this is my body really is telling me and encouraging me to listen. And as I'm doing so, the inflammation like in my face and my body is going down. It's still there, but it's not as bad. And surprisingly, it's telling me what it wants to eat louder than it ever has before, and when it's hungry. It's telling me when I need to rest and when I don't need to rest. It will like literally push me like, go for a walk, Marin, hurry, right now, you gotta go for a walk. Or it's saying, please lay down, I need a nap. So I still sleep a lot. Anyway, I know there was a lot of nonsense rambling about kitchen lights today, and hopefully I was able to describe what I'm feeling and why I am declining a lot of the really kind offers of energy work that people are extending. It's just, I just want to listen to my body, and I want to really experience this. It's such an amazingly intimate experience. And it's such a I think there's no rush. I think the confusion and recovery process it's really a special time, and that's with every single injury, not just a lightning strike. The recovery process is really your process and your time to get to know your body and to start listening to your body again. And I think that's probably the biggest reason why I am not doing those things, is because I really do like this reconnection with my body. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.